Hello, Ix here. Sorry about the recent lack of updates. There was some issues with my either recording software or hardware, and then it sort of cleared up on its own after dealing with the sound going away bug in Risk of Rain, even though, as far as I'm aware, that fix didn't really touch anything related to my webcam software or hardware. Who knows? But then life happened, got busy at work and all, so been a little bit out of the loop, haven't had an update in a little while, but I'm gonna switch things up, go to God Factory Wingmen. This is a space MOAB. You are the fighter ships on a carrier, and your goal is to destroy the enemy carrier. It's sort of the same concept as League of Legends and Dota and all those, except it's in space, so you have an entire new dimension to move around in. And there's 4 races: human, Gantry, Arblos, and Chorion. Each of them have their own, types of weapons and styles of ship that they excel at. They all also have their own unique devices, which for like the Chorion here, it's the barriers. These things will block damage until either you turn it off, takes a certain amount, or a certain amount of time has passed, and then based on the amount of damage they block, they do something else. Like this one, it is a fire aura, damages enemies that get too close to you. This one causes radar jam and can cause shield burst to nearby enemies if it blocks enough damage. Which radar jam, they can't see the mini-map stuff, and I think it also affects the heads-up display arrows towards enemies. I'm not sure on that. I'm not entirely well versed on what does what and what happens when in this game, since it is still relatively new. It came out on the 29th of August this year. It's apparently a indie game company, but despite like a few small bugs in the beginning, it's overall really impressive for a indie game company. We'll get into that we'll get into that later, because I'll be showing off the game just by using a practice match, so that it's just gonna be bots, but bots are pretty impressive in this game. They can use amazing levels of teamwork. So this is something I unlocked last time I played and haven't really looked at, which is why I'm sitting here on it and trying to read and talk at the same time. It's a decent barrier, but it doesn't really fit into my playstyle for the ship I'm using. So we're not going to get that right now. Instead, just sort of show off the ships I will be using. We've got the 9th wing, since I use Ix as the whole Roman numeral 9 thing. It's my little bit of cleverness in ship naming. But see all the different stats. You can see things like your passives and things that need an actual trigger, like Savior. If I hit someone who's hit an allied ship within the last 3 seconds, this happens. Or for this one, this is on my main weapon, and if I hit them for long enough, it causes ammo burn, which then makes them use twice as much ammo per shot until it wears off. Special. Alright, yeah, I've got Pulsar. You can depending on your wing, you can have 1 or 2 wing weapons. If you have 2 slots and you take a second weapon, each of your wing weapons will have 80% their normal ammo. But, yeah, this one's an interesting one, because, there's a delay, and then a small AoE effect from where you triggered it. But yeah, so, this race, their, thing is switching. They've got Alpha and Omega forms for their ship, and as you can see up here, very different stats and abilities happen, because, like, let's see now. Alright, that's from my cockpit. I don't have the, Restore Shield Aura well in Omega. The, part that gives that, I think, goes and refocuses on ability cooldown. Let's see. Oh no. Can't be ability cooldown. I've got so much less well in Omega form. Well, you know, stuff happens when you switch forms. It's like flying a semi-different ship with the same weapons. And then these guys are like the little mobile suits, battle suits, giant robots, whatever. They're usually fairly slow, but have high shield, high resistances, and often have nifty little things like reflect damage. My shield unit, if you hit me, returns some of the damage to you. And so, and that's sort of the brief. Here's all the different parts to a ship. You can get for some interesting combos if you like. You've got something that, you know, reflects damage, and something else that when you do this causes transfer, which is when all the debuffs affecting your ship, which is based on the damage combos, all those things like shield burst, radar jam, ammo burn. With transfer, when someone hits you while transfer is active, all your things go away and they have them now. So I don't have anything with transfer right now, but it makes for a very interesting turn of events when all of a sudden people hit you with a bunch of debuffs and all of a sudden they have their own debuffs. But as I said, going to do a practice match. It's just gonna be bots and me, of course. But even though I outclass the bots, they're not to be underestimated because teamwork is important, and bots have good teamwork. And just to go back to this and illustrate a point, like as you see these damage combos, these require unique sources to apply to cause these. So even if I had ignition and perforation on my ship between main and wing, I cannot cause breach. I would need another player to come along with one of them and hit them with it to actually cause breach. And so this Genesis level 5 combo requires 2 level 3 combos, which means you can get 4 from actual players, you can get 1 from the carrier, then you need to have something else like a turret that's deployable from a player, not the carrier turrets, to cause that 6th one to get Genesis. This is kind of risky, however, as Genesis has a decent area of effect and will hit your carrier. And since you can't get that 6th damage type without either multiple players, actually, I suppose, having turrets of different types that they deploy, or their own carrier's turrets, you could wind up, you know, halfway nuking your own carrier getting that to happen. But, I'm sure things will maybe clear up a little bit more as you actually see the game. And if I forgot to mention it earlier, because this is my second attempt at the video, since I forgot to actually plug in the microphone the first time I was recording this. Well, ignore that happened though. The file's been deleted, so it didn't happen. But, yeah, I haven't been doing things like Space Hulk right now because I recorded 3 whole sessions of that and still hadn't beaten that 2nd level. So we're gonna put that on hold until probably indefinitely. Actually, it's probably not gonna be revisited for a Let's Play. I'm still going to be trying to beat it, but it's not Let's Play material anymore in my book. So I'll be figuring out something to replace it with. I might go to something like maybe like War of the Human Tanks or Half Minute Hero Second Coming. Those are probably a bit more Let's Play friendly than Space Hulk. So this is the field. You got your enemy carrier over there. You got an enemy ship that's passed by us, but I'm not caring about that because I'm currently trying to unlock some different parts, but right now the parts that I don't really want to be using, that I need to level up to unlock the parts I want, are all pretty much related to sieging the carrier. Since sometimes you need to get like a part leveled up that is good at dogfighting, and a part leveled up that is good at blowing up carriers, and you need to get them both to actually unlock a part that is basically decent at doing both tasks. So, yeah, you saw boosting earlier as I moved really fast. It drains that yellow bar, and there's maneuvers like going backwards, fast right and left 90-degree turns, and the U-turn. These are all things that use energy. You can also drift after a maneuver by continuing to hold the maneuver button, which is space on the keyboard. And that will let you keep moving in the direction you were last moving, and still change where you're facing though. And then you'll be at full thrust once you end drifting. So yeah, ammo comes back instantly once you dock, unless someone destroys your ammunition stores, which are right in front of the dock. There's a radar and comm station in the back of the ship, and the repair station on the underneath of the back. Force field generator is the thing I was attacking. You have to get either in through the front or attack it from above. There's the cannon that will fire at set times and automatically deal 1 direct damage to the enemy carrier's integrity. So yeah, cannon's gonna fire now. Unless cannon is damaged and destroyed, it fires every 3 minutes. Otherwise, it fires every 5 minutes if damaged. So there is a set limit to match time. It cannot go above like 30 minutes, even if both teams destroy the cannon right before they first fire and destroy nothing else on the enemy ship. So yeah, this swing weapon is specifically for carrier parts. It's practically impossible to hit someone with it because it's a slow-moving cannon projectile, and even though it's got a lot of range, it doesn't have seeking. So all someone has to do is be moving at a bad angle and then like turn 5 degrees and I'll miss with it. So it's specifically for carrier parts. Take a hand. You don't like me in here. And yes, I am talking back to bots on the other team in my voice. So all the humans at home watching this will get to hear me talking to bots that can't possibly hear my speaking. And then shields come back at a set rate based on the ship parts, because you'll have parts that say shield regen this much. That is not while you're out flying around. That is how fast they get back shields well docked. So this one, the shield I'm using right now doesn't actually have shield regen. It has a passive where when it's being flown, it actually gets back shields. But in the carrier, the only reason why I'm getting back shields right now is because the switcher I'm using actually gives a permanent boost to shield regen when I switch to a certain form. Yeah, the current ability for the raise the switcher, I'm using this one because every time you switch, instead of changing up the stat bonuses it gives you, it just gives you a permanent buff. It stays even if you dock, goes away if you get blown up, goes away when you win or lose the match, because it doesn't carry between matches. That'd just be ridiculous. But yeah, so every time I switch, I'm going to either get tougher and recover faster in ship, or I'm going to wind up moving faster and having better handling, basically. I need to keep reminding the bots that I actually want them to destroy the force field generator, because they'll, I guess, get distracted or something. Decide it's dogfighting time, or it's time to attack their hull now. Not that them dogfighting is all that bad. If it does time out, essentially, and you have both carriers destroy each other at the same time with their cannons, then it goes to unique ship kills. Which means, even if I get like 20 kills, if it was all drones, which is what you wind up getting should your ship be blown up, is a drone of that race, and then I don't get any points for those drone kills towards the actual victory. It has to be something like the 9th Wing, Armored Saint. See, this human drone here is something that the enemy team will not get victory points if they blow up. So, we're gonna dogfight some, because, well, hey. Coming for you, Botswell. Okay, no, I'm not. Someone thinks they can get away with shooting me. A lot of people are shooting me. Oh yes, hit me. I have my field up. You only make me attack back stronger. Here's my burning aura. If you're close enough and an enemy, you are now taking damage for it. Okay, yeah, it's time to run away a bit. Yeah, also that square icon that's next to where the damage types I'm being hit with pop up, that is the Purge ability. What that does is, for 3 seconds, it removes the damage types and also prevents you from getting new ones. It also suppresses all your passive abilities. There is a trigger called Containment, which is then activated by purging. But outside of that, abilities go bye-bye for that. However, it's also worth knowing that it is an aura. Allies too close to you will also lose their particular abilities. They're passive. And enemies will also lose these things. So, dogfighting and talking is hard. But, yeah, so if they're really wasting you, and it's largely based on the fact that they've got such and such ability that's a passive bonus, this will reduce their ability to damage you. Yeah, but humans have that decoy thing, which can get very interesting. I was looking over the human parts. I don't actually have a really usable human ship yet, but some of their decoys just get crazy in what they do. They can get this one kamikaze style decoy where, like, if you hit it, that's when it decides to fly straight at you and then blow up. Pretty advanced for a holographic decoy, if you ask me. I'm not used to holograms exploding. Yeah, also, as you blow up things to their carrier, bad stuff happens for their team. Like, blowing up the hull means that all their parts start taking more damage, or, like, have less defense. I forget how they actually make it happen, but one way or another, it's easier to blow up parts if you blow up their hull. Hull is also the one thing that doesn't naturally regen when it's not being attacked. So, like everything else, it's not being attacked, gets back X amount of HP. And then the core, which is like you win instantly if you can blow this up. That thing always is regenning like 120 HP per second. These guys are really letting me have it here. Which means it's time to pull out this guy and use my... ran away. It's gonna be like the perfect time to use improved turrets. They were all right there, and I just didn't have the right ship to use it. So yeah, time to target their hull some more. Dare you to chase me back. I'm so gonna use improved turrets. And they didn't chase me. This is a disappointment. It's rare that I actually get to effectively use the boost turrets ability. I'm just gonna sort of drift along until something comes up towards me, because I want to A, regen some shields, which this ship does faster out of dock, and B, I want to get some more flips from my switch so that I can be more powerful. Hit it with that degen damage. Boost these turrets. Stay right where you are, enemies. I blew up a turret. So yeah, you can see the drone now. But I like the drone. So yeah, as you can see though, getting hit by like 4 enemies, even if your ship's the class 4 and they're all class 1s, they can still blow you up without too much trouble. Although in 1 vs 1, you got outclassed. It's a little bit less even of a fight. Unless you've got the damage type their race is weak against, they're probably going to win. Back up to full. Didn't attack it in long enough. Oh well, got some decent damage boost going on now. Not gonna defeat it in the next 40 seconds though, which is when our cannon's going to win it for us. Try to make it back to the ship before this thing fires and ends it. But yeah, it's sort of the that's interesting. So my keyboard decided that it wasn't going to have the 1-button mark. That makes it a bit harder to fly. Once again, they got more enemy gunships destroyed, but that's less important when you don't have a carrier to return home to at the end of the day. And that's assuming you actually look at the details of enemy team defeat. By playing matches, win or lose, you upgrade your parts, which then, as you unlock new ranks, fills up this, which gives you your pilot rank. But yeah, that's basically the game. So I'll be doing Spartan Assault again here shortly, but for now, that's it. See ya.